My career sucks.
Sex just isn't the same.
What's my purpose?
Where did this fat come from?
My relationship is killing me.
I'll never be happy.
My debt is piling up. I'll never find love. Why can't I be like other gay guys? Hey guys, it's time to get a grip, stop whining, make a bold move, and do something amazing with your 40-plus gay life. Let's get to the show with your Tell It Like It Is host, Rick Clemons, who does his best to never act like a dick or a diva unless you act like one first.
Hey, gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 40 Plus Gay Man Gay Talk. I'm your host, Rick Clemons. I'm so glad that you're here. But before we dive into today's show, it's all about something I think every one of us has dealt with. Just a quick reminder that we have our men's chats every month, usually the third Tuesday of the month. Go to the website, rickclemons.com. Go to the men's chat. Check out the calendar. You can see what's coming up. We'd love to have you join us. Sign up on that page. That way you get the emails and come join us there and join the Facebook community as well. We have lots of interesting conversations going on over there. All right. So before I get any more tongue twisted, and guess what, guys? This is a solo episode. Every once in a while I like to go solo. Don't read anything into that, okay? But I do love going solo from time to time just because, hey, every once in a while I think you guys like to hear just my perspective on something. So speaking of perspectives, let's talk about pretty privilege out there in the gay world. Okay, you know what happens? It happens in the straight world too. But there seems to be something really interesting about, a pretty guy, a handsome guy, a well-built guy, and then guys like me, average Joes. I just feel like I'm an average Joe. Some people think I'm handsome. Thank you for all the compliments. But when I look at myself, and this is not a let's dissect Rick episode. This is just like, hey, there's something about pretty privilege out there in our little gay culture. So I'm going to say the stuff that nobody really wants to say out loud. Let's be honest, better looking gay men seem to have it easier most of the time. I don't know. They get more matches, more dates, make better money. When they do something silly, they get more forgiveness out there and about in the room. If they do something like in a bar that's silly or stupid, they get a lot more second chances and they don't even have to ask for it, right? I think I've seen this over and over again in my world. Sure, you have too, quite honestly. And if you're being honest with yourself, it can kind of be like, kind of a gut-wrenching blow to the heart, right? But you probably spent a whole heck of a lot more time thinking about this than you would ever want to admit. I know I have, raising my hand. Those of you seeing me on YouTube, you see me raising my hand on this one. So today I wanted to just kind of riff on this a little bit and riff, talk about it, all of it. I don't know. I think there's truth to it. I think there's myth to it. I think there's a part of it that we actually bring it on ourselves and it has nothing to do with anybody else. So as I was thinking about this episode, I'm like, okay, let's start with it is real. Okay, not it is Israel. We don't need to talk about the war and all that garbage going on. It is real. Okay, and it's real in the straight community too. In fact, pretty is a privilege and it is real. There's even studies out there that back this up. Now, I'm not going to quote a bunch of studies because I just don't feel like that's not what my podcast is about. This is about me being real, telling the truth, telling you to get over your excuses and fears, all that sort of stuff. But better looking people tend to get hired faster. They make more money. For some weird reason, they're trusted more quickly. I don't know. There's so many benefits. I mean, it almost makes you want to vomit, but they get the benefit of the doubt sometimes in things too. And that just kind of pisses me off every once in a while. Now, let's move everything over to our lovely little gay environment, our little gay culture, our little gay planet worlds, okay? Ooh, this shit gets dialed up. I mean, let's be real. It gets dialed up because even though straight culture does it, there's something about we just exacerbate it, right? Because we as gay men have built kind of this little infrastructure of, well, he passes, he doesn't, this works, that doesn't, that physical appearance, that booty, those abs, those, biceps, those guns, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those guys. Okay. I'm not knocking it, but man, whether it's the apps, the bars, hanging out with a bunch of friends, I I don't know. I mean, I caught myself doing it the other night in a little speakeasy bar where I live. Okay, my husband and I were like riffing on the straight bartenders, going oof right, and you could just kind of tell like the people who wanted the bartenders making their drinks were the guys who were the good looking ones. I'm not saying any of them were ugly. There was no ugly bartender there, but there's even a little hierarchy of that stuff going on, right? And then we as gay men, it's like, well, we've got our scruffs, we've got our grinders, we've got, all the things, right? And then the apps take over, and then it starts there as well. Like how many likes, how many flames, how many, eggplants, how many peaches do you get, all that sort of stuff, right? And of course, we sort and sift each other like in the first, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds, even on an app, or we walk in a room and we do a little quick scan. Oh, no, oh, there's my peep. Oh, those kind of people. I need to be closer to them. So in reality, yes, it is very, very real. But I feel like there's a more interesting question. And that question is, what are you doing with that? If you know this is to be real, what are you personally doing with that for you in your world, in your life? I know for me, when I get in my dumpster, yes, I go dumpster diving in my emotions from time to time. I'm not perfect, never said I was, none of that, guys. What I find is when I start doing that, I'm in that space. I am in comparison game going for that gold medal. Because, hey, I'm a guy of a certain age, 62. I haven't had hair since I don't know when. And guess what? I've said this many times. I love being bald. You cannot tell me there's anything better. I do, for those of you guys watching me on YouTube, like this little turkey thing that's happening under my chin, that's starting to bug me a little bit. So that's why I do some exercises. Like, yes, those of you on YouTube just saw me go, that's actually a pretty good exercise. But anyway, those of you who are listening, you're like, what the hell is Rick doing? But the interesting question is to ask yourself, when you see this reality happening, what are you doing with it? And how are you letting it enter into your world, into your psyche, into your heart, into your soul, into your belief system? That's where you start to ask the deeper questions. And let's be honest, the gay world can make this pretty brutal, right? It can be so brutal out there in the gay world, navigating, oh, he's so good, look at him, oh, he's got everything, he's got the car, because he's good looking. Well, straight culture has pretty privilege as well, which we've already talked about. We in the gay culture have turned it into a sport. We've created these spaces where we bow down and we worship. Not saying the straight people don't do that, but we rank each other, right? Oh, you get privilege, you go here. Oh, you look like this. Oh, you go here. It's like literally like, going into the club, like there's sizing you up and down, going, no, you go over there. Oh, you look good in that jock. You definitely go over there. Okay. You know where I'm going. And then we as gay men, especially gay men over 40, are like, we're already kind of going, well, we don't fit much anymore. Then we go down and we start to act, not literally go down, guys. Okay, I didn't mean go down on your knees. Then we act surprised when we come out of those spaces and we feel like what? Crap. Yeah, because we don't measure up in those moments, right? We're like, oh no, why did I do that to myself again? But by God, I'm going to go do it again next weekend. Oh, I'm going to go to that clothing optional resort. Why did I do that? Well, I personally like going to the clothing optional resorts because I don't really give a shit if somebody doesn't like my big fat belly. I just like being naked. I'm just saying it right here, right now. I'm raising my hand. I love being naked. But guess what? The apps didn't invent this. Okay, the kind of straight culture kind of did. Think about, coming out and all that stuff, like we're supposed to be who we were, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Everything that's in the palm of our hands, I'm not talking about our, our crotches, guys, even though those are fun to play with too in the palm of our hands. What I'm talking about is the little phones. Everything is instant gratification these days. And guess what? They just made it happen faster. That's why it becomes brutal. We can see somebody on the phone go, oh, hot. Oh, doesn't work for me. We have, as gay men, been sorting and sifting and sorting and sifting and sorting and sifting since before any of those damn apps existed. Think about it. Those of you who are a certain age, we did it in the bars. We did it in the bathhouses. We've done it on the nude beaches. We've done it on the gay beaches. We've done it in, theater, right? We've been doing that. And the apps just help us put a number on it faster, get it delivered so that we can go right from ooh to rejection. Yep. Ooh to rejection in a heartbeat. All in the palm of your hand on your phone. Which then begs the question, why do we keep doing this? I believe it's because we crave connection. And that connection is one of the biggest things that I hear guys that I'm coaching. And I work with a lot of guys in this arena. Like, I just want to feel connection. I want to feel real friendship. I want to feel like I'm part of something. One of the best ways to feel like you are part of something is to determine that you are part of something without having to feel like you're part of something. I'm part of something because I'm bald. I'm part of something because I happen to be a gay dad. I'm part of something because I'm a man. I'm part of something because I love being a podcaster. All of those things make me feel connected to being something. And I'm not all that pretty, I don't think. But here's the thing. We get so focused on all these guys that we're like, he's got abs, he's got ass, he's got legs, he's got that smile, he's got that hair. Okay, I will admit, there are certain guys that have that hair stuff that I'm like, I would give probably at this point my right nut, because that right nut doesn't work as good as it used to. I'm kidding. Well, it doesn't work as good as it used to, but I would not give it up. I love my little balls. Kind of big balls, but I love them. But some of those guys that have that wavy hair sort of thing going on, oof. I get weak in my knees when I see those guys. But let's go to the flip side. You got Adonis. You got furry hairy bear. You got muscle hairy bear. You got great ass, great abs, great, biceps, those guns. Ugh, those poor guys are in their own prison a lot of times. Because then they're either like, I'm just some token piece of meat. Just lick me up and look at me and stare at me and saliva all over me, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, God knows we all have a little saliva all over our body, most of us, especially on those nipples. Oof. But you go to those spaces and you realize these guys are in a prison just like we are. They get approached constantly by these guys, and it's all about the looks. It has nothing to do about who he is. He gets objectified like a, Victoria's Secret model, which I guess those are still a thing. I don't know. I was married for a while, shopped at Victoria's Secret every once in a while for the Christmas thing, just to make the wife happy. But those guys get objectified like models. They get dismissed as like, oh, they're just shallow pieces of meat. They have no substance to them whatsoever. Not true. I have some friends that oftentimes, quite honestly, they get passed over because they don't seem like they're real. There's just this assumption that, well, because they look that good, there's no depth to who they are. And people are just basing this on looks. In fact, I was swimming laps just before I came to record this podcast. See, I took a break, went and did a little lap swim. I don't mind going swimming laps in the middle of the day. Part of the privilege of living in California, just saying that. And there was a really handsome guy, just really handsome. And I have to admit, I stopped a few more frequency on my lap turns than I normally would, because I just kept looking at him. I thought, Rick, you're getting ready to go record this podcast. You're doing the same thing. You're even just by looking at him a little bit. And of course, as I was walking home, then there was this gorgeous muscle guy that went running by. And I was like, oof. Now, I was admiring. I get that. But did I really want them because of that? No, I was admiring them, but I was kind of putting them in their own little prison. Because if everything is built on that and his appearance collapses, he starts to age, he starts to gain weight, he stops being the most attractive thing in the room. And this is an epidemic that we see in our gay culture for guys 40 plus. Suddenly, because I don't have the rock hard abs or the beautiful ass or the biceps or that chiseled chin, and instead you got, turkey goblet chin like I've got going on right now. Suddenly they're just not it. And they're in a prison. They're in the trap because pretty privilege is real and pretty privilege disappears. Pretty privilege is real and pretty privilege disappears. It's kind of like not the winning hand, but it sure looks like the winning hand when you look at them and go, oh, they got the winning hand. But man, I know too many guys, many of the guys that I've coached, who, when we flip it, they're more miserable than most of the guys who are the average bod guys. Just saying, boys. So now that we've dissected all of that, let's talk about where does this actually live in our psyches, in our beings, in our souls, in our hearts? Because this may be hard, and this might be really hard for many of you listening. If you've ever felt passed over, invisible, like, oh, I didn't even see that person standing there. Like, oh, really? I just faded into the wall that much? You're starting from a deficit every time you walk into a gay space. Let's be honest. You're that same way in the straight world. And that feeling is so fucking real. And it does real damage. It messes with your confidence. It says you're not desirable. It's the way you show up in relationships, the settling you start doing, the stories you start telling yourself. There's many a time I've said, I don't deserve. I don't deserve. There are guys who are attracted to me, and I'm like, really? Why? But there are guys who are attracted to Papa Bear. And I just go, wow. But every time I go, wow, and why? Who am I telling is no good? Who am I telling that's not worthy? Who am I telling you got to do better? Whether it's happening to you on the daily using the apps, whether you're sitting in that room with your coworkers and feeling like I never contribute anything worthwhile. Maybe you open an email and you see, oh, look at the happy, beautiful couple. Look at them. Wow. Maybe you see that ex, yep, in the grocery store, and you do everything you can to like go run away because, oh, now he's with this really hot guy. You put a number on your worth every time you have those thoughts, whether you wanted to put that number on or not. I'm not trying to be a downer here, but I'm trying to be real. This is where the stuff lives. This is the stuff we need to be talking more about as gay men. Not because we need a facelift. I don't need the, well, okay, I would like the little turkey gobbler thing to go away, but I'll figure it out. It's part of my heritage. Every man in the Clemons family has had it. Let's just go there, okay? I remember my mom's dad had it, and it actually made him just like really even more rugged and handsome. He was just a beautiful man, human being more than anything, but he was a handsome, beautiful man. And I remember his turkey gobbler chin, and I'm going, it just adds to his character. It makes him who he is. Because if we can start accepting all those things, for all those numbers we're adding up of what we're not good enough and adding to the not worthy bank and adding to the not pretty enough bank and all that stuff, we're allowing the, pretty privilege to, get deposits into that bank account versus look at me. I'm cool though. I'm good. I got soul. I got fun. I got me. Suddenly, the more you start taking that money back out of the deposit in the pretty privilege bank and putting it into the bank of, look at me, I'm good, you will stop letting the pretty privilege numbers run your frickin' life. So I want to ask you to think about right now in this moment, when you think about pretty privilege and you hear, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I don't have the smarts, the car, the whatever, the bod, the abs, the quick wit, whatever it is, that's the pretty privileged bank getting all those coins. Where would you take some of those coins and put them in the bank of you? Some of you are really smart guys, and that's freaking sexy. Some of you are so damn funny and you don't even realize it. Some of you are really super creative. Then there's others of you that your quiet thought and the way you think through things makes you really a turn on to some guys. So as you start to think about where this negativity about pretty pillage and everything resides in your world, it's time to really get to the real question. And now here's where I'm going to push you a little as we start to wrap this up here today. I want you to think about this. When was the first time, the very first time, you handed off your self-worth? To a community, to a person, to a family member, and you never got it back. When was that first time? Kind of like your virginity. When did you hand it over and it never came back? Because guess what, guys? This is what's happening over and over and over again. At some point, you stopped deciding what you were worth, and you started waiting for other gay men to decide your worth. I don't care if you don't think you're the cutest, handsomest guy in the world. I don't care if you think somebody doesn't love your big beer belly. I don't care if you think somebody's going to go, but he's bald or he's got too much hair. Or ass. Well, I can't find that ass. I don't see anything. I mean, that flat ass, okay. You're handing it all over to other people to decide these things instead of deciding for yourself, to finding those matches, those places, those things that you are, those places you belong. That guy that gives you that look across the bar that you brush off because you're like, really? Really? He can't be interested in me. Guess what? The next time somebody looks at you, look back. And if that attention holds, keep holding. And if that attention causes that guy to come follow up with you and start talking, hallelujah, hallelujah. Because here's the thing. If you take the measuring stick that you've been measuring yourself against and you flip it over and you start measuring differently, you're going to get surprised at what the measuring stick can tell you rather than the brutal truth. I'm going to say that again, rather than the brutal truth that you've been letting the measuring stick tell you. Sure, we are all going to acknowledge in this moment that pretty privilege is real. But I want you to also acknowledge that non-pretty privilege is real too. And there's people who aren't just looking for the pretty. For me, what I've learned in my world, and it took me a long time, having come out of a heterosexual marriage into the gay culture and trying to be all this and all that. One of the things that I learned was I had to see the whole story of Rick, not just the physical manifestation. Because here's what I believe in wholeheartedly. And boy, do I get to do a lot of this work with my guys that coach with me. And if this is something that's resonating with you, come check me out. I'd love to have a session with you, see what we could do to help you out. But here's what I do know. As soon as I start giving myself permission and I stop negotiating my own self-worth based on anybody else's fucking permission, relevance, anybody else's, oh, okay, you deserve to be here. As soon as I stop doing that, I actually experience freedom. And as soon as you can stop doing that, you will experience freedom. Byron Katie is a gal I'd love to have you all go check out. I think I've talked about her a couple times on the program. I'm going to drop it in here right quick here. She has something called The Work. Byron, B-Y-R-O-N, Katie, K-A-T-I-E. I think that's how you spell her last name. You want to do the work. It's pretty simple. Ask yourself, how true is that? Can you be absolutely positive that that's true? If you did not buy into that truth, who would you be differently? And what would you go do if you had that truth out of your way? The last one, I kind of fudged on that one a little bit, but the first three questions are the biggies. I would invite you to go look her up. Just go Byron Katie, 4 questions. You'll find it. You can't miss it. So why did I want to do this podcast? And why did I want to do it solo? I love interviewing my guests, but every once in a while, something gets under my craw, gets under my skin. There's the Southern boy, gets under my craw. And I just got to talk about it. I love that I'm aging. I'm loving that I'm in as good a health as I am, given everything that's going on. I love that I look pretty damn good for almost 63 years old. I feel like I look pretty darn good. But I don't see myself as pretty. Nor do I need to see myself as pretty. I just need to be rich. I just need to show up as me in my world in my own way. So if we believe that pretty privilege is real in the gay world, we're going to say, hell yes. Is it the whole truth? Abso-fucking-lutely not. But if it's the reason life feels harder than it should be, then maybe that's partly on you. And if it's something that you keep seeing yourself getting into and hiding behind, and it's becoming your forever way of being on the planet, it's time for you to wake the fuck up and say, absolutely not. It's time to quit negotiating. Everybody else is giving you permission and privilege and everything to be who you are. We as gay men over 40, we have been through enough. We've been standing in rooms waiting to be acknowledged. We've been in bars waiting to be seen. We have been in the gym looking at others and others looking at us waiting to be validated. Today is the day I want to encourage you to decide the value of you, your game, your way, your life in the way you most want to be. And especially, guys, as we're getting 40 years and older, it is even more and more important to be in this energy. I have made a decision to stop playing. Not playing, with guys or with my husband, none of that. No, I have made a decision to stop playing the games that other people expect me to pay. Now, there will be some I will play, but I am not going to play the games of, oh, you're worthy. I'm not going to play the games of, oh, yes, because of how you look, you have privilege. I know as a white, cisgender male, gay male, I have privilege. I own that. I see it. I understand it. But I also know that there are moments and rooms and spaces and environments where if I don't have my freaking little head, bald head on straight, I can go down the rabbit hole of not worthy in a heartbeat. So I want to invite you to stop playing, commit to yourself. Stop negotiating and start living like you mean it about what's important for you in your world in your own way. And see what you can do. And thanks for being listeners. Thanks for putting up with me solo for this one. And let me know in the comments. Send me some messages. Tell me what you're thinking, guys. Because guess what? You deserve to be you more than anything. No fears, no excuses, and no apologies. So that's it. Sashay away. Go on till next week, and I will catch you in just another week with another episode of 40 Plus Gay Man Gay Talk. I think next week we've got we got a special one coming up for you next week. Buddy of mine from down under, a beautiful soul, a beautiful man, talking about coming out late in life, talking about navigating gay life, some of the biggest things he's discovered as a LGBTQ therapist that he's really having an impact with gay men's life. His name is Sean Williams, and he runs a little group called Gay Fathers Worldwide. So be ready for that. Take care. Have a good one.
That's a wrap for 40 Plus. Gay men, gay talk, where size doesn't matter. We drop our bullshit, get over our screwed up fears, make bold moves, and live life without apologies. Don't forget to join us on Facebook at 40 Plus Gay Men, Gay Talk, where the conversations continue.